My name is Marty McKellips, and I'm the Chief Executive Officer for the American Red Cross here in Central Texas. We actually respond to a disaster about every 48 hours here in Central Texas. We respond to every house and apartment fire, and then plane crashes, things people don't even think about like toxic spills, and of course you all know about tornadoes, hurricanes, those kinds of major disasters that make it on the television. We have a broad range of services. The first thing we do is make sure everyone has a place to stay that night. So we provide shelter if that's needed. We replace food, lost clothing, bedding, those kinds of items. One of the most important things we do is help them replace lost medical things because people lose their prescription and they need them immediately. So we have nurses on call that can help with that. And finally, we have both caseworkers and mental health caseworkers to help people take those first steps toward their recovery because sometimes you just don't know what to do there when you're standing in front of your burned home. And we can help you with that. I think the most unusual thing that I learned when I first started responding to fires was that people, even who have financial means, are kind of at a loss. Their credit cards just burned up. They don't have any clothes, they're wearing their pajamas, and they don't know how to take that first step. So the reaction is stunned, and luckily the Red Cross is there to kind of help remind them that they're not without resources. We'll get them a place to stay, we'll get them those clothes, and then we'll start working with them about how they replace everything else. An important fact I'd like to point out is when you give to the American Red Cross National Disaster Relief Fund, you're not giving to the Central Texas Relief Fund. So if you want to support your neighbors, you need to give to your local chapter and give within your city to the Central Texas Red Cross. One of the biggest challenges we face in any kind of disaster in Central Texas is people are so giving and they want to look around their house and give us things that they no longer need. That can help, but it can also hurt because that becomes an issue. How do we clean that? How do we sort that? How do we store that? It becomes more expensive than just to simply provide new items for people. It is also very psychologically important that people be allowed to buy their own new things so that they feel a sense of empowerment in their recovery. So that's why the Red Cross provides a lot of financial assistance in the form of debit cards rather than a lot of stuff. And so we would encourage people to give money to allow people to work on their own recovery. The final issue to consider as a Central Texan is that allows our economy in time of disaster to keep moving. Rather than just recycling things we already own, if you go out, you help those businesses who may also be in that emergency. I really want to talk a little bit about I live here, I give here, because that's a very important thing to the Red Cross. The Red Cross is divided where we have the National Disaster Relief Fund and then we have local disaster relief. So when you give to the National Disaster Relief Fund, that's a great thing. It helps people in other parts of the country. But those house fires that I talked about, those small disasters that help your neighbors, those are funded by your local dollars. $25 can go a long way to helping us help a family if you keep it local. So I live here, I give here hits me where I live. Please support that and support your Red Cross.